sorry. Oh, I think I'm speaking loud enough. Yes, okay. To welcome you very warmly on behalf of the Centre Culturel de Rencontre Abbaye de Neumünster, which in English is just a cultural meeting center. And the Cultural Meeting Center of Neumünster has been created more than 10 years ago and has aims and objectives that in many ways are very similar to the ones that your group, your organization, your association pursues. But before speaking very briefly about that, oh, okay, I can move on and become more official.
Maybe if you want to keep it this or
Should I keep this? Okay. Thank you very much. No, take it off. Okay. My first duty is, as I said, to welcome you. The second duty, linked to the first one, is to welcome especially the list of names I have here, and I'm very pleased to start with a very close friend, Colette Fresh, the newly nominated president of IEIC, and then Mrs. Pénélope Denu, who is directrice of the Institute des Itinéraires Culturels, Mrs. Sorina Kapp, who is directrice adjointe, and as you probably all know, don't have to repeat that, coordinatrice of Certess. And I want to congratulate her for the results, because she's been, like all the others in the Institute, but she's been particularly involved and has been very successful in her work. And finally, the representative of the Joint Technical Secretariat, I have to read that because it's too difficult, Mrs. Johanna Ben. When I said that the Neumünster, this place, this former abbey, has objectives that are, well, in many ways parallel to yours, I was struck when I came in, and you probably too. There's an exhibition in the hall, the covered hall, that we call Agora, and that says, "So far, so close." You know, it's amazing that in a world that we pretend globalized, things that are even close are far, because we don't know them. And one of the objectives of the Centre Culturel is to bring people together, to make them know each other. And that's also one of the great achievements of your program, which I find very impressive. Bring people closer, make them understand beyond the technique that we all use now, and especially young people. I'm teaching at university, the virtual knowledge that we have. You give them, could I say, a physical knowledge by your itineraries. And knowledge leads to, of course, to understanding. And understanding leads to tolerance, to acceptance. So the aims are really very much more than just what you mentioned, culture through tourism. And yes, tourism is a means. Culture is an end, the end to understand and the end to come closer in this, as I said, globalized and yet terribly disstructured, well, faraway world. I think what I have at the end to do is to congratulate you on what you've done already, and wish to the work, the proceedings of this conference, the best results, especially that the 10 new programs may be adopted soon and will lead to what you have been striving for and what we are striving for here. And once more, we are very pleased at the Cultural Center, whose president, unfortunately, is not available, could I say. He's undergoing a small operation, so he's in hospital, to offer our facilities to your conference. Thank you very much. Good luck and good work.
Thank Thank you very much, Mr. Guy de Muser. I have the pleasure to give the floor to our new president of the European Institute of Cultural Roots, Mrs. Colette Flech. Please, you have the floor. I don't know if you want this one or lequel vous voulez. Ah oui, ça marche aussi.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it's been said, I'm the newly elected president of the European Institute of Cultural Roots, and so it is my pleasure and my privilege to welcome you to this first final conference of the Certess project. At the same time, I wish to welcome you on behalf of the Luxembourg Ministry of Culture, which together with the Council of Europe has been supporting our institute since its establishment which is far longer. But in 2011, the Ministry accepted our invitation to take part in this project, thus increasing the relevance of our task here in the country, but also in the greater region, which is a very lively concept in this part of the world. It is important to note that with the first Interreg 4C program to be led from Luxembourg, this is a pilot experience for all of us, and it was certainly a special challenge for the Institute and for the Ministry, because it was the first venture of its type. It is always a moment of mixed feelings when closing a chapter of cooperation which has lasted 3 years. And now it is time to appreciate the objectives planned on one hand, but more importantly, the achievements made. It is also time to accept with some sadness that such intense and multiform joint work is coming to an end. Serena Kapp, who was in charge of the project coordinator, will soon tell us more about the Certess project in detail. I would like just to point out a few facts. The project aimed at finding local experiences of potential interest and use to other partners. A massive volume of documented experiences were collected in the form of good practices, and even more significantly, governance instruments. Governance is a key to success for any venture which focuses on the best use of resources, and especially human resources. I'm sure that you all feel proud of the work done and the potential of the knowledge repository which is now available to cultural roots, to universities, government institutions, and regional stakeholders. The good practices were exchanged and experienced directly during the study visits before being brought together in the tutoring and mentoring sessions that followed. The range of partners, including national and regional administrations, research centers, development and tourism agencies, has revealed its potential in the collection of route implementation plans formulated by the partners this year. I understand from looking at the results that this endeavor is not just the sum of individual independent efforts, but has served to constitute an overall master plan. It is also evident that the routes presented are different, but the methodology and the goals are shared. The route implementation plans represent promising development opportunities for each partner region over the coming 3 to 5 years. The plans will fit well into the work of the European Institute of Cultural Roots too, in its mission to assist new initiatives and candidate routes, as well as to advise and accompany established networks. In other words, the Institute also will learn from your work. Today's session will be long and intense, I'm sure, as you take stock of the outcomes of the partnership while at the same time seek to identify new opportunities and follow-ups. As lead partner in this venture, I wish to convey our thanks for the effective cooperation of all of our partners and to ask you to thank your regional and national stakeholders and experts. And thank you too for traveling from all over Europe to share this moment with us. Our final thanks goes to the European Commission, my former boss, the Interreg IVC program. It was not Interreg, I was in another DG, but the Commission was my boss. And the partner member states who made this pilot project on cultural route development possible. We are sure that future opportunities will enable these experiences to be used for the benefit of the European citizens, entrepreneurs, and local communities, and for the promotion and valorization of the diverse cultural heritage present on our continent. Thank you very much. Good luck, good work.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Flesch. I will give the floor now to Penelope Denu. We are a little bit, I think it will be a very intensive day and we have a lot of content to present. So I have the pleasure to give the floor to the Director of the European Institute of Cultural Roots, Penelope Denu.
Thank you, Serena. Good morning. I'm not going to take up much time. I think that's the subliminal message that Serena was giving me there with all this reminding us of the content and your work today. But I did just want to say hello, and I have a slot this afternoon, so I won't feel frustrated by just taking a couple of minutes this morning. I'd just like to say thank you very much to the honorary president of the Centre de Rencontre Neumünster, Guy de Musser, who came to say hello to you today and to see what you've been doing, and again to President, our new chair of the Institute, Madame Colette Flesch. And yes, as I said, it was really just say hello to you. I met some of you last night already. The steering committee has already worked hard yesterday afternoon. So this is the public part, the presentation part. And I also look forward to hearing the presentations that the different route implementation plans, and also this afternoon looking with you at where you imagine that you may go following this 3-year cooperation with your projects, and looking at what the Institute can do with you to make these projects become realities. So once again, thanks very much for being here. I look forward to this day of presentations. Thank you again, Serena, for the organization, and I'm also very impressed by the publication that we have on our chairs today of the different projects. So, and on the USB keys, I think there's all the documents that you could ever wish for in the Certess, in the Certess Interreg 4C program. Thank you. Have a good day. Good work, as Madame Flesch said, and I'll see you later this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Penelope. Thank you for all the introductions. Well, maybe we will start straight away with the presentation of the project, because, as we said, 3 years of work, it is a lot of content, a lot of results, and I hope we achieve the goals that we fixed 3 years ago. It was not easy, but here you are. So I will give an overall view of Certess project. So for our guests who don't know, Certess is the acronym of Cultural European Roots, Transferring Experiences and Sharing Solutions. And the idea at the beginning, it was to have transmitter regions and recipient regions, to take regions which have a lot of experiences in cultural roots or cultural tourism, at many levels, could be on the ground or on the governance level, on policy level, etc. And to take all the good practices, the governance instruments, and to identify them and to see what is possible to transmit, to transfer between regions, and to adapt it also to the reality of the region in Europe. I will do this presentation jointly with Ivo Tartaglia, who is my assistant from the beginning, and we worked together on the project. He helped a lot on the technical level and financial one also. And I will start saying that the European Institute of Cultural Roots, as lead partner, was from the beginning assisted closely by the Ministry of Culture of the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, who will be afterwards the body who will implement or transmit or help to implement new policies on the regional level in Luxembourg, and I hope also in the greater region. So, Certess project, as we said, it is supported by the program Interreg 4C. It started in December 2011 and it will be ended in November this year. The idea it was to transfer experiences that the regions already have and to share solutions for some issues on cultural roots and on cultural tourism. We were 12 partners from 11 European regions. You can see a little bit these flags that you can see it also in the final publication. Very briefly, maybe to give the overview of the partnership. From Luxembourg, the European Institute of Cultural Roots as lead partner. Regione Lazio, the Department of Local Government of Malta, Salzburg Research for the Salzburg region, Salzburg Land, the Tourism Agency of the Balearic Islands in Spain, the Regional Ministry of Tourism and Commerce of Andalusia in Spain, Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, which is the body elaborating the strategy for the land, Zlin region in Czech Republic, Southern Silesian Tourist Organization in Poland, as I said, the Ministry of Culture in Luxembourg, jointly with the Institute, Sibiu County Tourism Association in Romania, and GMK University of Applied Sciences in Finland. So you see, we tried to cover quite well the European, geographically at least, the European Union regions and countries. So it was very well balanced, and I think it was a good work of sharing experience between North and South, and East and West of Europe also. Well, the methodology, the idea, it was really to have a strategic plan at the end with a very clear methodology shared by all the partners. And if it's possible, it was my hope from the beginning to have something to transfer to other regions in Europe interested on cultural roots. We started with the good practices, identification and documentation, and also with the analysis of the policies on this field at the regional level. We documented these good practices and governance instruments. We had joint workshops. We had many discussions about the governance instruments and tools, which is, I think, the key for a very fruitful cooperation and for good development of cultural roots on the field. We validate these experiences with study visits to some partners. And we assured tutoring sessions for those partners for the partners who wanted to work closely on the topic. And at the end, each partner will present a route implementation plan for its own region. So we had also one project steering committee, which was decided all the functionment and the governance of the project itself. The coordination team, you know me maybe because I already sent you a lot of messages, emails, and put pressure on you. But we were 6 persons in this adventure. And I want to thank you to Ivo Tartaglia and Nicola Tartaglia for their assistance, also to Giovanni Pattonere and Cammini d'Europa team, to Madame Miriam Frank, I don't know if she's here, who is the financial manager, and all the people helping very much the project, because it was really a lot of work, also on the administrative and financial level. And we had also 11 stakeholder local tables helped by external experts and speakers supporting each partner, because the partners mainly they are regional authorities, so they are maybe not specialists in culture tourism or culture routes, so they were assisted by experts in this topic. Well, you have this new route design presentation in the final publication. I will not explain it here, but we tried to synthesize, to do the synthesis of what we discussed or of what we achieved during the project, we. Maybe just very briefly, the project management plan. We signed from the beginning a partnership agreement, which it was our main governance, I would say, document. From the beginning also, from the application form, we fixed ourselves this project quality management guideline. It helped a lot because it's very, very important for us also to assess the project also during its development. From the beginning also we thought that to have a coded archive for document repository, it's very, very important, and it was true. So it's also, of course, to find documents, because now we have a lot of documents, and but also for the future, and I would say also for the audits, because if they are asking for documents, very, very precise documents, it's easier to find it afterwards. And to share also the same style with the partners, we create from the beginning also templates. And it was easier to work and to fulfill these templates all the time. I know if you want to take it over, and I will start here, but I will stop here. But I will give the floor to Ivo, and we are here to answer to your questions. Please, Ivo.
Thank you very much for the opportunity of taking over from Sorina and going a bit on the details, quantitative details mostly, of what has been achieved in the last 3 years. I would like to start with the glossary. At the very start, we found that due to the complexity of the project, the methodological expected content of it, but also the diversity of the various nationalities involved, it was important to find a sort of lingua franca or common glossary, and altogether we capitalized on a previous experience of a 7th framework project picture, which had already elaborated a glossary on cultural terminology, and on the basis of that we revived it and adjusted to the contents and the terminology also the Interreg program, and that has been a value added which we would like also to continue sharing among all of us and also with the other routes. Just giving some quantitative indication about the activities carried out. There have been 4 study visits kindly hosted by 4 of the partners with over 100 participants in Romania, Spain, Austria, and Italy, 5 workshops and 4 tutoring sessions, and also meeting the stakeholders. This is the case of Malta, where we met one of the mayors discussing about their local expectation questions and so on, and also the role of the Maltese partner in the project in that direction. This is just what you find in the publication is a summary of all the various activities. We have had a time plan which was completely, constantly readjusted and so on to cope with also some of the changes in the plan, because a plan is a flexible instrument, cannot be just something which is determined at the very start. And I think that it proved to be a good guide for the implementation of our activities. Figures in terms of good practices, target indications in the application form was 30 good practices to be documented. We are proud to say that we have exceeded that target with 41 good practices, because all partners reacted by documenting some of the experience which they had in hand and which they wanted to share. Even more so for the governance instruments. Plus, we identified some other ancillary documents which could help in the exercise of the route plan formulation. Altogether, therefore, we have 242 documents which have been put in a database in the website. It's structured by section, starting from a logical approach, which is, first of all, identification of the team, identification of the promoters and the initial stakeholders, to follow suit with the material and immaterial infrastructuring of the route, and then identification of the actions in which those goals set could be achieved, and that formulates the starting of the plan, all summarized together. It is the outline plan, and then the final phase is on the implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. Sorina, at the very end of the presentation, will tell us more about possible challenges related to a plan which needs to be put into practice, but also needs to be taken care of in order to adjust it and to make it successful in the future, in our case, in the next 3 to 5 years. What is interesting of this database is that all the documents can be searched either by typology or by partner or by the RIP section. I'm interested, for instance, in knowing more about what can be a legal status for a possible route promoter, and then I go into that subsection and I can sort out the relevant practices which have been collected for that purpose. This is just an example of one of them, which is the Sustainability Evaluation Toolkit, with references to the document of RIP, the type of document, and other links in the website. What we did not expect, this is one of the so-called deviations of the project, is that we were not intending to have some sort of guidelines. We thought that good practices put together could be interpreted and used, but then one of our partners came up and said, the lead partner can assist with at least an index of the way in which the plan should be structured. Well, we could not stop at that. The demand was so high that what we did was to draw all together a sort of toolkit, as we call it, originally intended to be just at the service of the database to facilitate the searching of the documents, but eventually it is a sort of short guideline which most probably the partners will decide to make public and avail also to other promoters or developers of cultural routes. And What is interesting of the toolkit is that it started just with giving some clarification about what we meant or what was expected to be in a particular section of the plan. But then it was supported with the link to the documents. But more important, we found that during the tutoring sessions, there have been a number of external speakers or also among ourselves, people who came with interesting suggestions, observation, criticisms, and so on. And we collected them. We are putting them in the toolkit so that this is again another guidance for whoever embarks himself in the preparation of an implementation of a route plan. Tutoring session has been an interesting opportunity. Again, we thank the partners who hosted them. We had the challenge of building up some increased competence on some of the teams, and that was done by, again, referring, as you see, we use extensively the matrix approach because we find it very cohesive and also very effective in giving a lot of information in a structured form. And here again we have the topic, we have the trainer or the speaker, we have the good practice which is referred to, and then we asked everybody at the beginning of the tutoring session to indicate what was the level of knowledge that he had about a specific good practice already documented or a route and so on. And then at the end of the 3 days tutoring session, to also either indicate that something more has been acquired or whether he remained more or less at the same level or maybe he was even more confused than that. And we are proud to say that generally the result shows that from the figures you can see at the bottom, shows that everybody has taken advantage of this opportunity, and because of that, each of the hosting partners for the tutoring released a sort of testimony of that. Route implementation plan, as I said, is in a framework of 3 to 5 years, and is a coordinated set of actions which each of the partners was expected to formulate. I have a problem here. Yeah, it's appeared here. Thank you. I'm almost finishing. We can take over. And this, now all our partners will be describing in more details the content of their plans. What is interesting here is that there have been different approaches to the route content, in the sense that some of the partners decided to strengthen their existing routes, like has been the case of Italy, for instance, or Austria. Some others started with conceiving a new route. Andalusia, for instance, was interested by the experience of Lazio of having a sort of regional framework to foster the valorization of the routes, and therefore, as they admitted during the midterm seminar to which we participated, for the first time they managed in this project to put together all the itineraries in the region of Andalusia. For the first time, all those route managers were meeting together, and they are now conceiving the idea of having a sort of super route coordination or leading structure, informal or formal. They will have to decide, and this is part of the plan which they have conceived. In Germany, on policy guidance, and 2 more partners linking to existing routes. The president of the institute mentioned about the master plan. Yes, that was again a deviation, in the sense that we never imagined that we were constructing something which was to be assembled all together. In actual fact, as lead partners, we were hoping that in the final stage of the project we would have relaxed a bit, because every partner would be doing his drafting of the plan alone, but that did not work. Did not work in the sense that there was the need of clarifying methodologically a number of things, and also because through the mentoring, which was requested by some of the partners, the lead partner traveled to the region, sat with their stakeholders and with their experts and so on, and helped, we hope, to clarify some of the issues and facilitating the preparation of the plan. That's why we started with the shared methodology. We went through the good practices and governance instruments to the level of route implementation plan, but in actual fact, methodologically, we can consider this as a one only product, which is the Certess master plan. Sorina, you.
Thank you, Ivo. So this was for the methodological point of view. You see a little bit how complex it was. Finally, this project. At the beginning, we said it will be only sharing experiences, exchanging, and doing a plan at the end. But finally, it became more and more complex during the development phase of Certess. And, well, finally, also, we created a website from the beginning, but the website at the end became a database because we had too much documents, too much documented good practices and governance instruments, and we felt that we need to put it in a database and to put also a tool for a filter and to create something much more friendly used tool for the regions, for the authorities, but also for all the stakeholders that they wanted to use it afterwards, and also for the partners, of course. We used also social media like Twitter and Facebook, the Facebook page. Speaking about media online, I just want to underline that today we are doing also, you see the cameras, streaming, and somebody who want to follow our conference, it is they can follow it directly live. We send the link to all the partners interested on it, and also to the institutions, because in Brussels they have very busy days these days. So the European Commission will start the work. It is a presentation to the European Parliament, so they couldn't come, but they will follow our work today or afterwards. We create the newsletters, some videos and the photo gallery, brochures, posters, and a project short paper, which was very useful for external meetings of the lead partner or of the partners. Midterm seminars in the partner regions, and external events like in the picture. Maybe I will also show you these external events like the Salon International du Patrimoine Culturel in Paris, so the International Cultural Heritage Fair in Paris, which was held together with the cultural roots of the Council of Europe, Certess project, and Interreg 4C. And I think this is a very, very good fair to present to disseminate the project. We took part also in the Euromed in Cyprus in 2012. So a lot of external events by the lead partner and also by the partners. Well, at the end, as Ivo said, we organized these mentoring services because some of the partners, they wanted to work closely and to be mentored by the lead partner. And we went to these partners and we help them, we assist them to realize the route implementation plan or to identify the theme. So it was a very, very intensive work, but very useful at the end. At the beginning, we thought that the tutoring session could be enough, but finally the mentoring session was quite important for the project and for some partners. So 8 partners asked for the mentoring service during the planning stage of the route. Also, at the end, came the idea to do a video about the project. So during July and August, we had 2 students walking on all the routes of this region, partners regions in Europe, and they realized a video product. I will give them the floor just after this presentation, and they will tell you a little bit how they discovered the partners and the routes. And of course, we are now in the stage of route implementation plan publications, and of course, each partner will do its own final conference, and this plenary conference for the project today in Luxembourg. So you will see this is the route that the students took to see all the partners during July and August. It was a decision, a common decision of the partners of Certess to do this, but the partner of Romania, of Sibiu, organized logistically all the trip. So I think the 2 students will tell you us a little bit more about it. And of course, we spoke yesterday about the future, how this partnership will continue, how we can cooperate together, how can we also transfer these experiences to other regions in Europe. Of course, it will depend very much also of the new programming period for the European Commission, for the Interreg Europe and other programs. But yesterday we spoke about this possibility to continue and to develop other projects together in the future, and to keep alive as long as possible the results of this project, and also to keep alive the database and to enrich it with other experiences, other documents in the future. This analysis of cooperation and consolidation and continuation of the partnership cooperation started already in Finland in October in March 2014, and we hope that all these identified already fields or subjects could be covered in the future. Like, for instance, these are only some ideas. Maybe you have other ideas, and again we have to wait for the new programming period of the European Commission, of course, but it was very much about setting up quality standards on a common methodology. So we can use this methodology of Certess to create a quality standards maybe based on the European level, or European Union level, to develop models to attract more tourists to localities, and this is really about cultural heritage, but also is linked to the hospitality, to services, to infrastructures, and whatever. And the marketing plan. The marketing plan is always very demanding, and the marketing plan it's the key factor for the cultural roots also. And of course, why not create a certification system in the regional for the regional cultural roots. We spoke a lot about indicators for the project purposes and indicators for results. So this is quite easy to say and to put it on the table, but it's quite difficult in the reality to achieve it. But well, could be some ideas about the future cooperation. It was also we spoke also a lot, and I think Germany will present some on their route implementation plan about networking, but networking also of businesses along the route. And it was the case in Regione Lazio, in other routes. The presentation will underline this today, and also the implementation of a certification system. So this was only some discussions, but the idea is that at the end we develop innovative methodologies for regional development, benchmarking, monitoring, and evaluation.
not only for cultural routes, but also regional development projects too, linked to culture, tourism and environment. And why this? Because if you remember well, at the beginning of the project, our main theme in the Interreg, it was environment and how to protect the environment, how to reduce risk of pollutions. And we said, well, by a slow tourism, a very responsible tourism, by cultural routes, we can do it. And we can, with the respect of territories and the local population, to involve the authorities, the local authorities and the regional one, we can do this. So these are some, ideas about what can we do together in the future to create these new methodologies and orientations. And just to give the example that we saw it, if I remember, in Austria, if I'm right, about signposting and all these cross points in regions or cities or sites where we have a lot of possibilities, a lot of routes, and for the moment, so this is like this in Austria or like this in Italy, and to see what can we do in the future to do this better. Also, as I said yesterday, also about the partners, we try to extend the itinerary to the neighboring regions with the same methodology of Certess. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes the theme is not good enough for this, but the idea is really to have transborder routes in the regions, to improve governance patterns and instruments. This is, for me, the key, as I said already, because the governance instruments will give the possibility or not to create or to develop cultural routes. And we saw in Reggio Lazio that a regional law can help a lot to improve the cultural routes and to help the actors to work together. To streamline glossaries, sign-aligning system, and maybe hostel management standards. We spoke also about this during the project. And of course, the quality services via an accreditation system to help the small and medium-sized enterprises along the cultural routes. We spoke again about these points of intersected by two or more routes in some regions, which could be sometimes a problem. The sharing innovative ICT infrastructure, and at the end, it was the idea also to use a semantic logical approach, to use open data, and it was, we started to speak about this in Malta, to use open data in the framework of cultural routes, and to have these information metrics which, well, it came up during the mentoring session in Malta, actually, and after we improve it, and this could be a good starting point for an information metrics, and using open data. Well, we spoke also about the possibility to have new projects on water technologies and how to use the water, how to do the water resource sustainable, because this is a very, very important topic nowadays and in the future for sure. The majority of the partners, almost all, they wanted to continue to cooperate on cultural routes and cultural tourism and governance instruments. We spoke about this yesterday, and we have the intention to sign a memorandum of understanding, which could be a starting point for a new project, maybe Interreg Europe. We will see. The meeting will be in Bologna, as you know, in the 2nd and 3rd of December 2014. So all your ideas about future cooperation or topics is welcomed. And well, our turtle started 3 years ago to walk, and now is flying. So we are so happy that now we can finally see the results. And the first result, I will maybe show you this video about the geographical cover of our regions and our routes. And after the coffee break, each partner will present its own route implementation plan. So I thank you very much, and I give the floor straight away to the two students who realized this video and this trip. So they visited each partner, and this video, it is the result of their trip and their own experience. So thank you very much, and I give the floor to Alexandra, Alexandru, and Mihai. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Mihai Dragomir. I'm representing Sibiu County Association. And together with all our partners during the project, we were paying a special attention to the practical issues. And all the time we were asking which are the needs of the travelers, how to market the routes, and is the infrastructure enough? So step by step we are thinking to really test our routes. And when we met the students, was like first time was like a joke. Okay, let's test it, and it's becoming a really challenge for us. And okay, we have the privilege to organize, but together with our partners. And I want to thank all the partners for their involvement. And just to introduce the two students, which they will tell their stories for the 35 days. Okay, so.
Hello, good morning, first of all. You must know that I'm not very good at public speaking. I think it was easier for me to go paragliding in Baden-Baden than speak here. Our journey was an adventure in every way, because we also had a good and a bad. I would like to talk more about the personal experience, and I will let Alex to talk about the technical problems we had and also the technical part of making the videos. I think I could talk for hours about our trip. It was so complex in many ways. But I would like to talk about the new experiences I had in every location, because I was thinking of every location I've been to, I lived something for the first time in my life, and that's very important. For example, in Salzburg, I was for the first time in my life on a boat under a mountain, and that was crazy. In the Czech Republic, I was for the first time biking for 40 kilometers. For me, it was something big because I've never biked that much, and I also got muscular cramps. And I was impressed that they remember my birthday. It was my birthday, and then Martin came and gave me a chocolate and said happy birthday. I was very impressed because nobody knew. I was away from home. Then in Poland, it was a dream come true, because from when I was little, I always wanted to sleep in a castle. So I got my dream come true. We slept in a castle. And then I would like to talk to you about Finland. It was an experience very close to our hearts, because all the scenery and all the landscape and everything was different and new to us. The new experience I had there is the sun rising in the middle of the night. We were asking, what is this? Is it the moonlight? Is it the aurora borealis or something? It was the sun coming up, and it was so weird. For example, in Luxembourg, I found out I can speak in French. I didn't know this about me, but when I had to talk to Soren, Sorina's child, I started speaking in French. I didn't knew I could speak in French. In Baden-Baden, it was the first time paragliding, and I'm afraid of heights. So until going up there, my stomach was kind of like right now. Yeah. And but in the moment I was in the air with the instructor, I felt a calm I've never felt before. I thought that I would have all these symptoms of adrenaline rush and everything, but it was the opposite. I didn't expect that. In Italy, in Formello, we met an amazing team of bikers. Only one of them knew English, and the other ones were only speaking in Italian. We could understand everything, but we couldn't talk back. We had only French and Spanish in our head. We couldn't talk Italian. And they were so nice. They will always come after us, and they will always bring us berries and wait for us, because it was my first time on a mountain bike. I only drove city bikes. In Malta, it was also a lot of biking involved. Like most of our locations. I think 1 or 2 didn't have bikes, but the rest, yeah. In Malta, we went to the wine festival. It was an awesome festival near the sea, and all the people there had this way of being open and of communicating and then sharing plans and ideas. I will come to this idea further about meeting new people and making new friends. But first of all, I would like to say about the Balearic Islands. Malta was such a great support there. We came at 7 in the morning, very, very, very tired, and our accommodation was on the other side of the island. So we got to our accommodation at 11 or 12 at night. So we had to, it was very challenging physically because it was very hot, and but Marga really supported us. She took care of us, fed us, and everything. It was amazing, and thank you very much, Marga. Also, in Ibiza, we went on our own. We didn't have anyone to take care of us, so we went there and shoot in the Dal Villa and also at the Museum of Archaeology. And during the night, we said maybe we should have some alone time. Being all time together, we felt the need to go alone. So Alex left on one side, and I went the other side. And by total accident, we met at the top of the city. And it was the most amazing sunset I had in my life. Really, you should. I think we have some photos and also some footage to show you. And then we met some Korean people, very young people. And a girl comes to me and says, "Can we take a photo of you?" And I said, maybe she doesn't know English very well, so they want me to take a photo of them. Why would they want to take a photo of me? And they said, no, you're very pretty. You two look very good together, so let's take a photo of you. And the other days, I even talked to them on Facebook, so we made new friends, Korean friends, they're dancers, and they asked us to go to the South Korea, and it was awesome. And they also, we keep in touch and say happy birthday and exchange some information about Ibiza and Balearic Islands, and also they went to Barcelona. I left Granada at the last, also because it was our last destination, but for me, it was something very close to my heart, and mostly because of Ruth, who was our guide. She didn't know much about the project. She wasn't really involved in the project. She was a third party, but she was such an amazing woman and presenting things in such a way, a funny way, and she was a photographer, and I'm passionate about photography, and we had so much in common. And also she asked us to go and live with her and for family if we are interested in going on a holiday, on a vacation. And also the Alhambra left me speechless, really. It was that point when my phone battery died and everything died, and I wish I could take photos with my eyes because I didn't have the technology with me. And I was speechless. That place is really, really amazing. And I also was surprised to receive a gift from a stranger, practically, because we only knew Ruth for one day. And we were in the Alhambra and looking there, and she came with a pair of earrings for me. So I was very impressed to meet someone for the first time, feel that connection, and actually to receive something back from a stranger and see that this connection, it goes both ways, and it was not only me that felt it. The idea of cultural roots was quite new to us, so we started our journey with an open mind. not expecting much. And we were surprised to see how complex this project is and how different each destination was. I remember telling Alex after each destination, this is my favorite one yet, every time, because I couldn't decide. And then at what point I stopped, because I realized they're so different and unique, you don't have to compare them in any way. But it was not only sunshine and rainbows and beautiful experiences. We had a lot of problems also. We missed trains. We slept in a compartment where they have the sheets for the trains. We slept there. We also started to learn how to sleep in the most weird positions because we were mainly on the road, train, boat, plane, always only standing down. So it was really challenging physically, first of all. Also, all these things kind of made this an adventure. That's what adventure is for us, having the good and the bad and balancing it. So you get something that might be an experience of a lifetime, who knows? It was until now an experience of a lifetime, visiting more than 10 locations. I don't count the countries we only passed through in a month. And I want to go back to the idea that one of the most important things for me were the people we met on this journey. Almost everywhere we felt special, we felt protected, we felt safe, and sometimes even spoiled, which was great in the castle route. We slept in a castle. Okay. I would like to ask Alex to talk more about the technical part of our project, about the video making. I wanted to present you my feelings regarding this journey. A more feminine side, probably. If you read the blog, you will see this a lot, because this is how I am. I wrote most of the posts in the blog, and also took the photos. And further on, I will let Alex to explain you everything and his point of view also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexandra. I'm sure you will visit South Korea on bike too. Hello, everybody. As you well know, we have been to each destination of the Certess project, and for us, the main aspect and the main point that we had to take and to make a video about each destination and to put into perspective and to highlight each special aspect about each country, about its culture, and what they have to share for the world and for everybody who visits. So we thought we had an idea about what we are going to experience there. We found out that we didn't. We just had an idea about our destinations and where we will go, but the experiences were, well, I could say overwhelming. We tasted each flavor of our each destinations, and we could only think, what would this movie look like? How could we present 12 destinations in 11 countries in a maybe 4-minute movie? That was a big challenge. Also, I could say that the way that we traveled, that was 35 days, was quite extended. So we thought about approaches, how to take your equipment and how to take shots in places for 1 month, because you can't really carry big, heavy equipment with tripods and big cameras. Like the one you see there, that's really not suitable for carrying for 1 month. So our result was that we have action cameras that we used on our hands, and we could attach them to devices to give a special perspective about our trip. So it has a personal approach, and it also have a more technical approach towards culture and towards the feelings and the things, the landmarks of the places we have visited. So it has been a challenge. I'm going to present you the movie now and maybe talk about aspects of the movie later. And here it goes. click. So does anybody know how to click and drag here? All right. So once again, come on. Thank you very much. As I see you have enjoyed it. There are two aspects that I would like to talk about regarding the movie. First of all, as you've seen, well, besides the Certess logo and the Interreg 4C, you've seen another logo, which is Europe Unplugged. You may know about it, you may not know about it. I'm just going to underline a few things about what Europe Unplugged meant to us, what it means to us, and its relation to the project. So we knew that when when we had to visit all these destinations, that we had to do something special. We have to overcome the challenge of conventional filmmaking in order to deliver a product that would actually transfer the experience and the emotion into attracting people to take these cultural routes. So the way we experienced in everything in this trip was a bit unconventional. That's why we called it Europe Unplugged, just as in a concert. When you go to an unplugged concert, the emotion spectrum is different than a normal plugged concert, than a live one. So you see, this is what happened here. We had our experience in a very different spectrum, in a very different share. We had all the good parts, we had our challenges, which made us sometimes feel things a lot more with a lot more intensity than we supposed to, maybe than we should, and maybe than we thought we would, which actually really did add a greater value to our overall experience. So that's why we have this personal trip called Europe Unplugged, and that's how we try to put it into context, that for people, so anyways, for everybody who visits each of the destination, each of the routes will feel at least the same. And of course, about the movie, as you well know, you will have and you will experience a movie which is dedicated to each route that will be at the end of each presentation. So the difference between the two movies is the fact that the other movies, which is specialized and localized for each destination, will have captions, which are lower third explanation about each shot and where it is taken. As you've seen, you don't have it here. The movie is quite dynamic, and I have experienced a bit, and seems that it worked because each destination and each route that was presented sparkled a highlight into everybody's eyes that knew about the place. The film was quite dynamic, and we had to choose between seeing some lower third information, and as I've seen, there are a lot of documents, there's a lot of theoretical information that you present here. So what we wanted to transmit was more emotional. So I hope that target was hit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this presentation and for the video. Of course, this is really the final video of the project, but we have some spots, as Alex said, about each partner. So after each presentation of the route implementation plan, we try to show your own movie from your own place. Like this, we can link theory, practice, and emotions, because I think emotions are part of the cultural roots, are part about discovering the cultural heritage in some places. And you will see that the routes and the plans also are very, very diverse and very interesting, because everybody started to think about, do I have roots in my region? What can I do to have roots? And can I link other roots? Or so it was a very interesting process till the end of the plans. So we have a small time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you have questions to the speakers of this morning. Nobody? We will have more time in the afternoon to have a debate and a round table. If you don't have questions, we have a half an hour coffee break, and we will start straight away with the presentations.